from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week. The show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host here, Mike Corday, is in studio, and he is the award-winning author and human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/TechTimeRadio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. A little under the weather, but she's going to make it through, she says, so we will keep her in our thoughts. Now, welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, buckle up as we dive into the latest technology news and stories. Here's what we have coming up for the show. Today, we're going to take a nostalgic trip to the early 2000s with the flip phone resurgence and renaissance. This is going to be huge. We're going to be talking about how the flip phone is now becoming the item of envy for people to have. Remember those iconic clamshell devices? Remember that they used to grace our pockets? Well, it's making a comeback. And then wait, there's more. Sick of scams? Stop answering your phone. Scammers have mastered caller ID spoofing, making it hard to trust incoming calls. The first rule, don't answer unknown numbers. Even some that you may know, let them go to voicemail. We're going to be talking about this and other ways that you can help fed off scammers when they call you. Now, I struggle with this because I enjoy talking to the scammers myself, but I needed to take some of this wisdom that I have written down here to heart and do it myself instead of answering them. I just liked having the little dialogue. And then Tesla recalls every Cybertruck. Just breaking this morning, essentially, pay attention. If you're a Cybertruck owner, Tesla has issued another recall. This is not the first. This is not the second. We will tell you how many recalls this great truck has had. And again, you're going to want to make sure you listen, because if you have a Cybertruck that was in 2024, you need to make sure you get it.
Have you seen these things?
Yes.
They are incredibly weird looking.
Yeah, with all the angles. No,
they look like a 70s sci-fi show.
It does. It looks kind of like a bad version of a DeLorean, right? I mean, it's not smooth on the side. It's like,
yeah, it looks like a DeLorean who
decided that
eats its emotions.
There you go. All right. And then we have our letter segment. We're going to be talking about emails, and we have a unique thing today where each of my staff have actually printed out emails that they shared. And we went through and clicked on those links and did the test on each of those. So we're going to talk about ones that were sent to them and what happens with that. Now, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment. We have our technology fail of the week and a Nathan nugget if we have time. But of course, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting. Mark Gregoire is back in studio to tell us just about our pick today. But before we get to the whiskey, let's start with the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Tesla recalls every Cybertruck again. Let's go to Karen Westland for more on this story.
Is there such a thing as being too big? Tesla just issued a recall for over 11,000 Cybertrucks over a windshield wiper issue. The recall includes all model year 2024 Cybertruck. This is not the Cybertruck's first recall rodeo. All in all, Tesla has issued 4 Cybertruck recalls since the car went on sale. Back to you in the studio.
All right, so let's talk about it. So this is the wiper mechanism, essentially on their alert to all the owners. And these are, again, are not software updates where Tesla besides the Cybertruck, their vehicles, most of the vehicles, if they have an issue, they can issue a software update. Every once in a while, you have to take it back in to the dealership. But this, you got to take the car back into the dealership because, quote unquote, on affected vehicles, the front windshield wiper motor controller may stop functioning due to electrical overstress. Essentially, what this means is the windshield wiper will not work. The essentially information that they're saying is that it could be harmful to drive a vehicle without a windshield wiper and could reduce visibility in certain operating conditions. So do you think if you don't have your windshield wipers working and you go into, especially with these Cybertrucks, into some rain, you think it would be kind of a problem?
Depends on the rain.
Okay, well, if you have the Pacific Northwest rain, maybe not.
If it's the Pacific Northwest, you can usually get by without it. You just have to strain your eyes. But if it's a thunderstorm, bad idea.
Bad idea. The Cybertruck has been O's of misconfigurations, items that have not worked since the launch of itself. And even Tesla's CEO Elon Musk said that a wiper is a big trouble for the car's development. Nothing in there is an easy solution for it to work. So he decided to go on our good old buddy Elon Musk and said that, yes, they found that there was a wiper issue. He didn't want to downplay it, saying that it was not a big deal. He said it was a big deal and it should be replaced.
Did he call NVIDIA up and have them send over some more chips?
some of their AI chips on over? They did not. Again, as I said, this is not the first recall. The company recalled all the Cybertrucks it sold in April 2024 due to accelerator pad issues. Where it would just decide to go quicker,
go faster.
Yeah, it just decided to go. So your car can accidentally go quicker than it's supposed to and accelerate on its own. It doesn't have the windshield wipers work. I mean, these are things that the 1950s vehicles figured out.
I don't know. Tesla's not really appearing in the news very well.
It's not. So there you go. If you have a Cybertruck, we don't want to make fun of it, but you do need to take it into the service center. And
I'll make fun of it.
Okay.
It is a funny looking vehicle.
And they say right now the service centers are 3 to 4 weeks backlog. So if you go on in and you're like, say you're in Florida where sometimes it rains all the time, you're going to be waiting 3 to 4 weeks to get your vehicle back. So I guess you can drive yourself a Tesla X around.
Maybe you should get a Chevy or a Ford.
Ford, there you go. All right, Mike, I think you got story number 2.
Well, would anybody be surprised after we've talked about things like the Walkman and all these other retro things coming back in
camera,
style?
Right?
Yeah.
That
flip phones are coming back into play.
I you know what? I know 5 people that can buy anything that they want in money situations. So money is not an object. All of them have flip phones now.
Yeah.
So this is like a new trend.
I think this is there may be some nostalgia to it.
Okay.
But I really think they hit it on the mark when they said the reason is that we have just become burnt out with our smartphones.
Okay.
And we just want something simpler.
All right.
Right? Because we spend an average person spends 5 hours.
Yeah, Odie spends 8
a day.
Yep.
Yeah. Odie spends 9 hours a day.
Yeah, 8. Her average was 8. It was
on their smartphone, which equals 6 days a month or 12 days or 12 years out of a lifetime.
Is that really 6 hours a day equals 12 years out of your lifetime?
5 hours a day equals 6 days a month.
Yeah.
And 12 years out of a lifetime.
Wow. That's a long time to be on your phone.
And we've talked about this before several times. Our human willpower and Band-Aid fixes like built-in social media apps limits don't help. Yeah.
Like that brick device that Gwen talked about probably helps some people, but not everybody.
It's really interesting when I view, we all know that I'm not the technologist around here, that I'm the human guy.
Yep.
Right. So when I look at these things that people are producing technologically, I'm like wondering what's the purpose of and why these exist. Okay. And some of this stuff is kind of insane if you think about it. So if you took an alcoholic, you had a problem with alcohol and you couldn't control that, would you give them an app?
No.
The best thing to do is to get the alcohol out of the house, right? Or get them away from the alcohol. Well, there's more to it than that, but that's a very quick way of dealing with an issue, right?
Okay.
So that's how they looked at this idea with the flip phones.
All right.
Will Brawley, 49, is a tech entrepreneur from Waxhaw, North Carolina. He created and co-owns the popular restaurant management software company Schedulefly, which replaced his iPhone 11 with a basic flip phone from Verizon.
Okay.
4 years ago.
And how's that working for him?
He's okay with it. And I know you haven't done it, but I'm not on. So I haven't.
I'm thinking
I'm
about
not on
it.
social media a lot anymore. I haven't been on social media for going on 3 years.
I think there would be some peace to have somebody have to get a hold of me on a flip phone. Some peace and quiet.
Do you even use your phone for calls?
I do. I like calling, talking more than I do text.
Most people don't. I think the amount of calls per smartphone is way low.
Down.
We don't really use those for calling. It's mostly texting nowadays and things like that. So, but yeah, I still carry my smartphone around, but I don't use all the apps.
So I'd like a smartphone that only has email. Just email, no social media, email, texting, and just leaving it that way. I think that would be perfect for me.
Well, some people are crediting Gen Z TikTok influencers like Sammy Palazzolo, who garnered more than 17 million views in 2022, when as a college student, she posted about why she only takes a flip phone when she goes out for the night. The gist is it keeps her and her friends more present, eliminates drunk texts and bad hookups, and all of the bad things about college and all the good things about a phone, which is connecting with people and taking photos and videos. Others point to the nostalgia piece. For all things retro, because we just talked about those instant cameras. Minimalist phone apps work well on many Android phones, turning flashy app icons and backgrounds into boring grayscale blandness. The website Dumb Wireless is another good resource for checking out your option when it comes to digital downgrading. It features everything from the more pricey Light Phone 2, which is $299, to the AGM M9, which is $50. If you're considering buying a dumb phone, they recommend starting like they did, with an inexpensive device that costs very little and uses a prepaid wireless plan like you get in, like Walgreens or something like that.
Okay.
That way, if it works, great. If it doesn't, you're out the cost of a nice dinner. The bottom line is you don't need to spend a big wad of cash to save you from yourself.
Okay.
Which I find incredibly funny. That's it.
All right.
Let's go with another phone issue.
All right. Well, here we go. So today is
I'll tell you how I deal with this one.
Oh, okay. So we kind of this is all. It just kind of happened last night during the production meeting. There's a lot of these articles are about phones. Phones seems to be the big conversation piece in the news. Now, are you sick of scams? How about stop answering your phone? The first rule of avoiding scam calls is to never answer unknown numbers or even numbers that may be known, because you can always let them just go to voicemail. But most of us are curious and bored. And what if it's an emergency and we just grew up with the idea of we have to make sure we answer that? Well, according to a huge study, according to the FTC, people lost more than $851 million to phone scams in 2023. After email, phone scams are the most common fraud method reported to the FTC. So, of course, you have your email scams, and now you have your phone scams. Now, essentially, the autonomy of a scam call, you need to know what happens when someone calls you. If the caller claims to be from some generic sounding company and they want to send you an urgent document, please note that they're probably not from the company that they're representing, and spend a little bit of time, if you're going to listen, to trigger a couple key areas that will tell you if it's a scam call. Now, first look and see if the area code, that's the 3 preceding digits of where your call is coming in from, is from a carrier that's in the United States.
Did you really explain what an area code is?
Well, so I mean, I'd be curious. Odie, do you know what an area code is? Let me see here. Do you know what an area code is?
Yeah, 206.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so some people, some youngins, some of the Generation Z people didn't know that the area code was the preceding digits. So make sure that they're from the United States. What's that?
Aren't area codes not as big as they were before?
So area codes used to be a big thing back when you had local and long distance calling.
Yeah,
so you would have a call like I would get a phone number with a 206 number, so I could call people in Seattle.
Part of that is because of number porting, right? So I have my old phone number when I lived in Arizona.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I call people, it's a 520 number.
Well, back when you're local, remember the local calls, you used to have local and long distance. So I lived in an area
Back
where
in
we
the
had
day.
a 425 area code, and I could only call 425 people. So if I wanted to call 206 people, that was an additional $1 per minute for me to talk with them. And
Oh, I was gonna say how nowadays, what's 360?
so 360 can be down in the Puyallup area or up in Marysville.
Okay, so
So
it's not
they kind of split that between the 206 and 425.
okay because I know a lot of people that grew up here in Seattle that are in the 206 area that have the 360 number.
See, what happened is we ran out of zip codes.
Yeah.
There's so many phones out there.
Yep.
That's
So-
what. Yeah, that's
So
what I
now
meant to
people
say.
are just messing up all over everywhere. Now I can
Yeah.
call a voice over IP service, which is essentially a fake number that you just get that you transfer on the internet, and I can request certain.
Yeah, it's
prefixes,
It's
so they
not
ran
as
out.
handy as it was before.
Okay, let's talk about scams.
All right, scamming. So if they ask for personal information about your family or discuss concerns of being targeted randomly, make sure that these people actually know who you are. So don't give out information. Normally they'll say they're family members or they're this and that, and in their conversation, well, do you want to help this family member? Do you want to help this family member?
I'm
So
totally all about that. I'll even give them my password.
you give them your password.
Yeah, you want to hear what it is?
Was it password 123?
ID 01T.
ID 01T.
ID 10T.
Okay, I get you. The caller also will normally call about legal complaints. This happens too. And this will get somebody triggered because they'll say that, hey, you have some outstanding issue, or they may be a tax relief person, or they may be a debt collector, and they'll kind of use that urgency. If you don't know who it is, the first thing you should do is just hang up your phone. If it's really someone that's important, they'll reach out to you on email, they'll reach out to you on a voicemail, and then you can call them back or look up the information that they're calling about. Now, here's a couple settings you need to go to. If you have an iPhone, go into settings, then click phone and do silence unknown callers. Essentially what this will do for your iPhone is when someone actually calls you that doesn't have an actually known caller ID, you're never going to hear it. It will immediately just go to voicemail option for them to leave a message. So they'll know that you already have that triggered and they won't continue to get a hold of you. If you have an Android device, you can go to the phone app, go to the menu button, click settings, and most phones will have the option for blocking numbers and caller ID spam protection here. Unless you have a real old Android phone, all of the newer ones have that option too. So you can go to settings, phone, silent unknown callers, or you can go to phone app, menu button, settings. Did you have a question there, Odie?
When you say silent, do you mean just to put it on vibrate?
No, it'll actually won't even vibrate.
It won't go through.
It will just automatically, it'll ring on your phone
Because
once.
I have that.
Yeah.
And I just know that it's an unknown number. I just don't answer it.
Okay, that's the best thing to do. But a lot of us are really anxious about it.
I
So
just
this
don't
will
answer
happen.
the phone.
That is true.
I don't answer the phone when anybody calls.
Yeah, I'll call you. It'll be like you.
My
Really?
voicemail doesn't work. I don't.
Yeah, he
No,
just
I'm
does it.
Oh.
All right. Now be careful if a caller ID says something like Chase Bank. Clearly, you may want to answer it, but it could be that they actually use a software tool to put in a caller ID for Chase Bank. I have Chase Bank. I have yet to get called from Chase Bank. And the one time or two times that I have been called from Chase Bank, it does not come up and say Chase Bank. It will just be a number that's recognized because they have such a large call tree. They're not normally identifying their caller ID when they go on out there as Chase Bank itself. Now, remember that scammers use AI tools to clone their voice. This is something that our family did, and I would recommend that you do this also coming on up. If you are worried about somebody cloning your voice, come up with a keyword that you have. So if you're talking with someone and it says, hi, I'm in an emergency and I need you to send money, then say, okay, well, what is this? Is it kind of hold back of the key
That's
code?
right. What's the safe word?
Yeah, what's the safe word of your family to have so that essentially you can say that and know that your voice is not being cloned. That is a Nathan nugget that you should put in your back pocket there. Now, ask your own questions. This is something that's really good. If you're looking for legitimacy in the phone call itself, ask questions back to the person saying, okay, well, since you're from this bank, what did you guys do? Do you know about my last deposit? Try to trip them up. The more questions you ask, if they're scammers, they're getting paid and they'll get very frustrated and they'll end up really hanging up on you. If it's Chase Bank that's calling you and you start asking some questions and they hang up on you, probably not really Chase Bank and it's a scammer that was there. Don't trust and verify. Use the old adage, verify and then trust. So don't just say, okay, I'm going to trust and then verify you later. You should verify before you move forward. And remember, when people are victimized by a scam, the only way you can help this is by reporting it into your local FBI office so that they can actually track this. You may not get your money back, but they need the stats and the information to know so they
Just
can
don't
stop
send
other
money.
people. Just don't send money.
Don't send money.
All right. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, we have our letter segment up next with a few listener submitted items that we have. We have a listener event that we're going to be talking about on that. Buckle up, tech enthusiasts. We're going to drive the show 88 miles per hour into the next segment. See you after the commercial break.
This is Mark
And Greg.
for Copiers Northwest
With a terrific offer.
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 16 minutes. And, of course, with a little whiskey on the side today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, is in studio. Mark, this is really good. And I normally don't like this. I always say I don't like this. But, man, this is smooth. I saw this.
You say you don't
Afterburn.
like it, but you always give it a thumbs
I
up.
always do. All right. What are we tasting today?
What you don't like is the low proof stuff. You like the high proof.
Is that what it is? I don't
Elijah
like the low
Craig.
proof. Okay.
Yep. So this is Elijah.
Oh, he likes cheap stuff.
Well, I do like some cheap stuff, but all right, continue on.
This is Elijah Craig, single barrel, private barrel, barrel proof from Parish Northwest #1.
Ooh.
Now, from Elijah Craig's website, to sip barrel proof is to experience bourbon in its purest form, uncut, straight from the barrel, and without chill filtering. Each bottle has its own unique age statement, proof, and batch number, allowing for subtle nuances that batch to batch, but the nose, taste, and finish are pure Elijah Craig. So it sounds like Nathan likes pure Elijah Craig.
I guess so. Yeah, this has a nice burn. It's a
Well,
long burn.
The funny thing is that you think you don't like it.
I always do think I don't like it, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
But then you know what? Then I was just looking at my shelf at home as I grabbed this and was bringing it in because it's Mark's because he lets us have it. And you know what? I have 6 Elijah Craigs up on my
Yeah, no
top
kidding.
shelf. So I do like it. I just forget that I like it. And I had one bad version of a cheap one that just sticks in my mind, I think.
All right, this is from Heaven Hill, their distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's straight bourbon. Now, since it's private barrel, the specs to this bottle are unique. This particular one is 9 years. It is 122.8 proof, 78% corn, 12% malted barley, 10% rye. And I know Mike was asking me last night if he was going to like it, and this is why I thought so. It's got the third grain is rye, which is a little unusual instead of the second. And it is priced. This one will cost me $60.
I like that. That's in the
Is that in your low ball range?
yeah, that's in my low.
I thought your low ball range was $5.
Well, no, that's Canadian Mist. You like that stuff, don't you?
No, you're the one that has that on his shelf in the medium section.
I still do have that in my shelf.
Now, to remind your viewers and listeners, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please make a comment about the whiskey or any
How'd you
whiskey
get
you'd like
this-
us to review.
How'd you get this bottle? You gonna explain that in the mumble?
He went to
I was not going to explain the mumble, but I can tell
Okay.
you it's part of a whiskey group that I'm part of. So Parish Northwest is a restaurant in Ballard, and this is a barrel that they purchased from Elijah Craig, and they take a lot of the bottles from themselves for the restaurant, and then they offer the other bottles for a special whiskey group.
is this smuggling ring?
It is not. This one is 100%.
This is the 100%. This is the above
This is the
board.
one we tease them about all the time.
No. There's another one.
Oh
that's
wait,
a little-
there's the underground.
Yeah,
one.
there's
This
the
one
underground
is 100% on board. If you're part of the whiskey group, you have an opportunity to purchase a bottle.
Okay, perfect. All right, you got a good job by purchasing this one. All right, with our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment today. We bring back the funny yet informative reading of emails that I and my staff received during the week. This includes scam, phishing emails, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails in a segment we call Letters.
Letters, we get letters. We get back the letters. Ah, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have songs.
All right, I think you're up first, Mike.
Well, this is not for me. This is for you.
This was from me. Yep.
It's from Abraham Gonzalez.
Okay.
Web or address is abraham.g@tacticalrecruiters.live.
Okay.
This Tuesday, you got it, and the subject is leadership opportunity, a remote leadership opportunity. Hello, Nathan. A very interesting opportunity for you that won't affect your role at EE Services, leveraging your leadership abilities for you better than possibly anything out there.
Oh.
Would it be okay to share some details with you? All my best, Abraham Gonzalez, Branch Department Supervisor, Territory Owner, Fulfillment. Okay. That sounds pretty legit. That sounds like a headhunter.
It sounds like a headhunter. That's what it made to be sound like, kind of a headhunter.
Okay, so why is this why would I suspect this at all?
Okay, well, you probably wouldn't suspect that at all. And some people actually end up responding to this. This individual has nothing about leadership, and so I've reached out to a couple of these before just to kind of go through the scam aspect itself. And what he does is he'll actually get a whole bunch of information about what I like to do, what am I an expert in, and he'll go through like a whole interview process that you would if I'm going to do a radio show or if I'm going to do some podcast that they'll ask you questions. And I do this for our show too when we have guests come on in. And then what happens is after you send that information to him, he writes it all down. This person will never respond and ask you for any leadership. What they did is they created a profile for you. And then what they do is they tag it on the dark web for profiles in LinkedIn. So if you buy information regarding my LinkedIn profile, you can also then get all this additional information to create your social media attack or your social phishing attack based upon the information that he collects. So all they are is a collection agency of information. You probably wouldn't know that. And a lot of I got taken by one or two of these before.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody who is, trying to get out of a dead end job or something, this might be a godsend. They might think this is a godsend. Why would I suspect this? Is there something that I, as a person that doesn't understand a lot of these scams, know what to do with this?
No, so there is no real trigger there, Mike, that's going to say this is a scam. The way that you find out a lot of these things are scams are essentially when they ask you to do the interview and you do an interview and they write down all this information. When you come back to them, you say, okay, well, would you like me to move forward? Would you like me? And then all of a sudden that email doesn't exist any longer and that information is there. You have to go through normally one or two of these to actually get that experience of understanding that it is a scam, that all they're doing is trying to collect information about you yourself. So this you could fall for. And you know what? At times in my career, I actually did fall for a couple of these. And then when I tried to reach back out to them, they never came back. And then all of a sudden, I had people reaching out to me randomly that knew so much about me that only I included that in that interview itself did I know that was a time where I would send my information out and was scammed.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a pretty interesting way of doing it.
There you go. All right. I think Odie, you're up next. This is an email to you.
This was to my mom.
Okay.
It said it's from reply stuff at gccardgrabber.com.
Okay.
The subject line reads, "Delivered. We tried to reach you. Attention, my mom's email. You have received an alert and your email was successfully delivered on 6/12/2024. Please verify your email address to proceed. Open message here."
Okay, so they have a link there for you to click on.
Right.
All right, so I clicked on the link itself.
Yeah.
And what it does is to verify, before they want to give me this card that I won, they want me to go and take a picture of a photo ID so they can make sure that I am legitimately the person that they're giving me a gift card to.
Mhm.
Now, I had no ID, and I took a picture of a business card instead and sent them to him. There was no follow up, no information that came back on any of the aspects of it. It is just a hunt and search method of getting information, getting your ID, getting your credit information, because you'll have normally your driver's license. Some people end up putting their passports on these. They're looking for any photo ID, and a lot of people grab whatever is closest and available to them. Sometimes I've seen people where they had picture ID of where they worked, like at, let's say if you worked at Boeing or something like that, you take your Boeing ID and you'd scan it. Sometimes I've even seen people that have pictures of them on a credit card, use their credit card with their picture and send that in. So it's just a hunting aspect. There was no real gift card that was available there, but they wanted your picture ID to capture it so they could have that available.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. All right, Mark, I think you're up next.
So this one is one that was sent to personal email for Mark.
Okay, yourself. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a very, very common one. And surprisingly, the number of people that fall for it is fairly high. It's your Prime membership has expired. So many people have Amazon membership now that expired. Luckily, they didn't even put Amazon. You're just supposed to know it's Prime membership.
Okay.
And they said quickly, you need to update your payment details here and click the link. And the link is very interesting. It says confirm, but under it has a little star and it says available only today.
Available only today. So you can only confirm it for the day.
Correct. So it's like a special offer. But as we know in the background, really, it is because these websites keep getting taken down. So they're trying to create this urgency for you to click on it before that site gets taken down.
Yep. So essentially on this one right here, I actually clicked on it, and the website has been taken down by the company that actually owns the website.
Makes sense.
I think it was Go Gator or something Gator was the site. And essentially what happens is scammers all the time try to get the urgency. And it's really easy to put up a fake website for a day. Sometimes you get away with it for maybe up to 2 days. But what happens is the website company normally gets alerts about it. And then they actually have technology built in to go and try to grab that and put it back in. And that's exactly what happened here. So I couldn't click on the information. The website had already been deleted.
Right. Now, 2 things on this one so people don't fall for the scam. Number one, if you're going quickly, always check the email address it's from. It was not from Amazon.com. It was from some crazy email address. Yep. And number 2 is, even if it is or seems legit, never click on a link in the email. Go to your Amazon Prime account directly and check it from there.
And if you're using Amazon that much, you're logging in every other day.
Correct.
So you should know how to go into your account and get that taken care of.
Yep.
Right. All right. My last one I have here was for me. I actually wrote back to this person and I actually said, ha ha ha, nice scam. So that was my actual response to him. So I very few times do I get taken. And this one I actually clicked on just because I was so enthralled to see the scam and what it had. So I essentially received an email from OpenSea. Now, OpenSea is a NFT company that we used when we did our TechTime Radio NFTs. So we have TechTime NFTs that are on there. It says your NFT has been successfully sold on OpenSea. Your trust in our platform and quality of your item have truly paid off. Now, I received for Mike's drawing that he did on one of the episodes, 1.3 Ethereum ready to withdraw. You have full control over when and when you want to withdraw this balance, providing the flexibility and convenience to withdraw. And again, all of our NFTs come with a special interview process where they get to meet with Mike too. So I was just going to make sure that this person that bought this NFT had that opportunity.
I didn't know. I don't remember that being part of the deal.
So it says, log on here to your OpenSea account, navigate to your profile dashboard, click on the withdrawal option, follow the on-screen instructions to complete the withdrawal process. Now that's exactly what you need to do. They have a little link where it says log into your OpenSea account, hoping that instead of you actually typing OpenSea.com, you click on the login. Now, the login takes you to a fake site. And boy, they have spent some time making it look like the real OpenSea deal. So scrolling through, and then I decided, so I didn't log in, but I got to their site, and they had like 6-7 pages deep. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go take a look for TechTime Radio. All of our NFTs, none of them sold in this search. I looked for a couple ones. There's some monkey NFTs that are very popular, and there's some other ones. None of those NFTs were available either on the search algorithm. So I'm like, this doesn't seem to be the right side. So Again, be very careful if someone has something that says log in and there's a little link. Instead of clicking on that link to log in, make sure you go to the actual website and log in. All right, there you go. Well, that ends our segment letters. Up next, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment in its new spot in the show. Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today? All right, here's my question to you, Mike. Flip phones.
Flip phones?
Flip phones.
Flip flops.
Flip flops. Flip phones. Are they the next big hit, or are they going to be a trending fad that disappears?
I think more or less that we'll see essentially the same thing. Look, I used a Nathan word.
There you go.
Essentially the same thing. We'll see this kind of hit a peak, and then it'll probably go back to the newest iPhone or whatever.
Okay.
I think one of the things that could tilt the balance for this is the fact that it's not just a nostalgia thing.
Uh-huh.
It is. We suffer from fatigue from these things. We suffer from phone fatigue, from Zoom fatigue, all these things that we're doing nowadays. Our psychology isn't built for maintaining this fast pace. So I think a lot of this stuff is going back to that simpler time of not having to worry about anything and not being addicted to everything on your phone. So if this is going to hang around, I think that's going to be the reason why.
So a couple of companies are going to put in like 10 megapixel cameras in them. So they're going to put new technology
they're doing
into these flip
exactly
phones.
the same thing that they did back then.
Yep.
They took the flip phone and they kept improving the flip phone, and it ended up with what we got in our pockets right now.
Yep.
And so now you've got these people, right, that are going back with this idea, and they're going to improve on it again,
and then
which is going to take us right back to where we are. I mean, this is just a cash grab for some of these companies. But if you are tired of your smartphone, quote unquote, or if you're hooked on things, or if you just want that simple flip phones were like brutal, man. You could wing them across the room and hit your
6-day battery life on some.
Yeah, you could hit people in the head with them, and they wouldn't crack and break and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were pretty good, and you could carry them around in your jeans pockets and things like that. So
I think I'm very interested.
I don't
I'm
know.
on the fence right now.
I think this from what I know about this particular one, I think this is going to hang on a little longer than some of these other fads that we're seeing. I have a feeling that eventually that fad is going to move through and they're go back. But if it does hang on for longer than that, I think that's the reason why.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, that ends our mesmerizing moment. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Join the fun and grab tickets to GeekFest West, the 3-day Geek Festival extravaganza of fun and entertainment that will take place on the third weekend in July. Learn more at geekfest.com. GeekFest will feature diverse activities, including a film festival, vendor hall, street fair, outdoor music festival, cosmic cosplay, and video game tournaments. Join us at GeekFest West, the ultimate celebration of geek culture. To learn more, visit geekfest.com. That is geekfest.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to June 22nd, 1946. Airmail moves to jets. In a demonstration of the capabilities of jet aircraft, the P-80 Shooting Star was the first recorded transportation of airmail in a jet plane. This occurred at General Electric's Air Force Research Laboratory in New York as an Army Air Force demonstration. Major Ken Chilstrom piloted the Shooting Star jet carrying small amounts of mail to Washington, D.C. and Chicago, Illinois. Now, 98% of all out-of-state postal deliveries are done via jet planes. That was interesting because when we actually pulled this on up, I was thinking this was the beginning of all airmail, but they had propellers and airmail all the way back to the early 1900s.
Yeah, Orville and Wilbur delivered a letter. No.
Yes. So in the 1900s was essentially the first time that air was used to transport it. This was the first time that jets were used. Well, guess what? That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some tech time history with over 200 weekly broadcasts spanning 5+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Mark's Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right. What do we got for us?
All right. Today, June 25th.
Yes.
Today is Goat Cheese Day.
Goat cheese.
Because goat cheese tastes. Goat cheese tastes.
Yeah. Do you like goat cheese?
Tastes like it came out of a goat.
Wow.
I don't know what's more weird is listening to that or watching Mark dance to it.
All right. Okay. Goat cheese day.
Yeah.
I'm not a big goat cheese guy myself, but okay.
Well,
all right.
to celebrate the wonders and benefits of this distinctly acid, tangy cheese, Goat Cheese Day is celebrated as a way to appreciate and bask in its wonders. Goat cheese is a popular type of cheese consumed around the world that originated as far back as 5000 BC in ancient Greece.
Yeah,
like the udders of the goats.
Is it really basking in wondrousness? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I love goat cheese.
You like goat cheese?
I love goat cheese.
Really? Really? It's got that tangy taste. It's
tangy, earthy deliciousness.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm kind of a.
Now, why did we choose?
I'm an
goat
American
cheese
processed cheese guy. You know those little things that you get.
Goats were one of the primary herd animals. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Why did we choose goat cheese today?
Why?
Well, from tastingtable.com's article, 7 Best Bourbon and Cheese Tasting, they stated, Elijah Craig bourbon and goat cheese come together in a pairing that is a fascinating study in contrast, merging the spicy warmth of the bourbon with the tangy earthiness of the cheese. This combination is more than just a meeting of flavors. It's a dynamic and adventurous journey for the palate. Okay. Now, Elijah Craig, known for its bold and spicy profile, presents an array of flavors that range from sweet vanilla and caramel to rich oak and warm spices, which I think you guys got today. This complexity makes it an excellent choice to pair with the unique tangy flavors of goat cheese. Goat cheese, which is known for the earthy and tart character, offers a creamy yet sharp contrast to the bourbon. So if you guys want to try it,
sweet and sour.
I brought some goat cheese.
No,
I got goat cheese.
Goat cheese in the studio.
Here I was fixing to make it. Here I was making a crack about licking pavement.
So try it with a little bit of the bourbon and see how it goes.
All right,
my sister's been trying to get me to eat goat cheese for the longest time. I think I might give in today.
There you go. This one is called Humboldt Fog. It's a delicious goat cheese. If you're not big on goat cheese,
goat cheese.
Don't eat the ash part. I love that part, but that one is pretty. You need to be a cheese lover.
Does it taste like it came
eat the
from
creamy
a goat?
part?
I think we just need to sit around and watch Nathan.
Wow, though. Hang on.
Does it
Before
go?
Wow.
Yes.
It's kind of like that sugary and sour and the chocolate and salt. Wow.
Yeah. Now, I love Elijah Craig barrel proofs, as we know here. In one of our past shows, we actually put private barrels against Elijah Craig's standard releases. And for me, it was not even close. The standard releases are always my winner. So much so, I stopped even buying private reserve. Now, this private release is exceptional and is the exception.
See, doesn't it taste different with that cheese?
Yeah. Well, everything tastes different with everything else.
Okay. So I actually find it even more enticing now.
What does that mean? You're going to go buy some goat cheese?
No,
and
I can't stand
drink more
goat cheese,
liquor?
but wow, that was really good. Okay, that was
But
very
you
that
should,
worked.
you know,
I can't believe that worked.
slam a shot and lick a flower bed.
Yeah, okay.
There you go, gentlemen.
Wow.
Food pairs with bourbon.
And this is on your top shelf, or is this on your medium shelf? Where does this sit on your shelf at home?
This is not a top shelf bourbon, but it is close to my heart bourbon. I love Elijah Craig.
Okay.
Especially their barrel proofs.
I always think I don't like Elijah Craig, but then I am proven completely wrong. Yeah, this is good stuff.
I love it. And this is the best private release one I've ever had.
Yeah, it's really good. All right. Mark, thanks for the memo. As always, whiskey and technology. What is great pairing? Just like
goat cheese
hydroplanes. Well, there you go. Just like hydroplane races and air shows. It's coming on up during the months. Have you gone to a hydroplane race? They always have like the Blue Angels or whatever.
Was it Sea Week? Is that what it's called?
Was that?
What is it?
The Blue Angels or Seafair?
Seafair.
Yep, Seafair. Yeah. All right. Well, man, that goat cheese is good. Let's prepare for our technology fail of the week. Brought to you by Elite Executive Services, technology experts to help you out of a technology fail.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. Well, this week's failure comes to us from a man trying to start a class action lawsuit against Apple. Listen to this thing here. All right, man is
this is not a tech fail.
This is a man fail.
This
is a dumb criminal type of thing. All right, so a man is trying to get together a bunch of other men to create a class action lawsuit against Apple because this man says that because of Apple, his wife discovered he was cheating via messages synced to his iMac. Now, if you're cheating on your wife with prostitutes and she finds out, it's probably best to apologize and see if there's a way to save your marriage. Or you could sue Apple. A man in England is taking door number 2, according to the Time. The man who doesn't want to disclose his real name
or
hometown for privacy reasons is suing Apple for $5 million because his wife found out about his flings via the family iMac. As the story goes, the man was soliciting sex workers over iMessage. He then deleted the text, though, from his iPhone to hide his tracks. But as anyone with multiple Apple devices knows, it's possible to sync messages across your phone, iPad, Mac, and if they're all signed into the same Apple ID, they will be found out. Now, the man's messages didn't disappear from the Mac, and his wife found them out. She filed for divorce, which ultimately cost the man more than $5 million, and now he wants Apple to pick up the tab. So yes. So he made more than $5 million he had to pay out in his divorce settlement.
This is an IDI or ID10T guy.
That's right. His lawsuit claims that iMessage didn't make it clear that deleting a message on his phone doesn't delete the message elsewhere. He urges that for his wife, it was a very brutal way to find out. My thoughts are that if I had been able to talk to her rationally, she had not been such a brutal realization, I might still be married today.
I am pretty sure that this is not the most brutal way to find out. I am pretty sure that if you weren't cheating on her in the first place, you might still be married to her.
Yes. So note to yourself, if you're on like a family plan, because Apple has family plan, I'm on a family plan. So when my wife buys something, I get it. If I buy an iTunes song, everybody in my family gets it. Let's just say if you're in a synced iTunes account, all that information could go back and forth. So I
want to know if
careful.
This gets thrown out on the court. I think this is a throw out lawsuit because you just need to shut up and take your medicine, buddy. You're an idiot. You got caught being an idiot. Now you need to suffer the penalty for being an idiot.
Well, the man has established with legal counsel the possibility of creating a class action lawsuit. Now,
with other idiots?
Yeah. Now, when Apple was reached out for comment, they responded to the request with saying, don't do stuff you should not do.
Exactly. Don't be a dumbass.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we have the Nathan Nugget of the Week. We'll see you after this.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon the Bookpository, and more.
All right, let's get ready for now our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, remote workers using mouse mover technologies are getting caught. Again, we got like two dumb people back to back. All right, so last month, Wells Fargo reportedly fired over a dozen employees for using tools that fake productivity at work. Simple devices can simulate the movement of a computer mouse, but employees are starting to catch on, and so are their bosses. According to a report from Bloomberg based on disclosures filed with the Financial Industries Regulatory Authority, last month, Wells Fargo fired more than a dozen employees after an investigation revealed they were using devices or apps to simulate productivity on their computers. What's not known is how over a dozen staffers had jobs where they could load these type of tools that would measure the mouse movements. Now, many companies rely on software to monitor these inputs as ways to ensure remote employees are actually at their computers and being productive, especially working from home. As a remote worker, you have to make sure that you're actually using the tools that you are provided from the company itself and not trying to fake the system. As tools grow more sophisticated, so does the ability to spot patterns. However random they may seem that a mouse jiggler is in use, do not use it for your main core job. Now, here's the thing. I've seen some real creative YouTube videos on this. And I've seen people that they have like remote control cars moving their mouse and fans moving their mouse. And that probably, to be honest, these 10 workers, 12 workers, however many they were with Wells Fargo, probably still have their jobs if they did the old-fashioned way of having a mouse move. But what happens is these people get lazy and they load third-party software on their machines to simulate mouse movement. As an IT expert, we can always go in and see what software is loaded on your machines. So if you're going to be trying to fake the system with having simulated mouse movements, do not load the software on your computer because you will be found out. All right.
I don't have any comment.
You don't have any comment?
This is all ridiculousness
To
the nth degree.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before.
We have.
Should a company have all these tools to remember that one that we talked about a couple years back where it takes photos, snapshots of your every like 15
seconds
or some weird stuff.
Make
like
sure
that.
you're sitting in front of your computer.
That's to me, that's a you should not be working for.
And that was
company.
a bank. That was actually a Chase Bank itself. So we got Wells Fargo that laid off people, and that one that was doing that type of technology is Chase Bank. So what that tells me is in the banking industry, they must have a lot of remote workers nowadays doing customer support tools.
Yeah,
they just sit at their homes and do whatever needs to be taken care of. And when they get a call in, they answer it to do the support that they get.
You should, it shouldn't be. Is this for downtime work? If there's downtime work,
yeah,
don't get butthurt over it.
Yeah.
If they're not on the call with the customer, if a customer is calling in and they're not answering the call, that's when you should be worried. If they have scut work that needs to be done,
yeah,
and you're using a mouse jiggler, I don't know. Just
yeah. All right. You know what? Now I think we need to go to our pick of the day. Whiskey
drink some bourbon and eat cheese.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, Mark, what do we have today?
Today is Elijah Craig Single Barrel Private Barrel Barrel Proof. It's from Parish Northwest #1, which is a restaurant in Ballard owned by Tommy Patrick, who chose this bottle. He also owns the Ballard Cut, one of the best whiskey bars in the country.
Okay.
This bourbon is 9 years, 122.8 proof. It was $60.
$60. All right, we'll start with you, Mike. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I always give Elijah a thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I always think that I don't like Elijah Craig,
but you give it a thumbs up.
I'm going to give this.
I look for Elijah Craig.
Cheese
when
was
I'm
really
out.
good though. The cheese was
Elijah Craig
really
Barrel Proof is one of the best deals on the market. Proof per
Hey,
dollar.
Mark, you succeeded in selling cheese today, not bourbon.
Ah, nice.
Well, no, I think bourbon too. I think
Nathan's going to go home and get goat cheese.
It's the pairing.
I don't know.
It was the pairing.
I would never eat goat cheese individually, but That was actually really good.
Mhm.
That was really good. All right. Well,
Yeah, it was funny watching him eat it before he took the bourbon.
It was, and then I said, all right. Well, Mike and listeners, we're about out of time. We want to thank you for listening to our show. Listeners, we want to hear from you. Join us at techtimeradio.com. Click on our Be Our Caller and ask a question in our technology talkback recording system. You can always stay connected by signing on up on our website, and you can always go and visit all of our Mumble information at the very bottom of our website page itself. Well, guys, what did you think of the new format? We're changing up something here. We actually got through on time, and everything is going to be going. I think that's going to be a thumbs up.
I like it.
I do want to make sure that you know that where Bites collide, Circus sings, and geeks reign supreme. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm, signing off with a binary wink. See you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.